Shalom, all praises, glory, and honor unto Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakah HaKodash. Double honors unto the apostles and the bishops and the elders of Great Millstone that rule well through the scriptures. Peace to the 144,000 and the rest of the hopeful elect. I am the brother Chaya from GMS Indianapolis, the branch of Indiana. The original Gary campus, GMS It Will Not Tarry 2. And this is a response to this video here, entitled Before Jeffrey Epstein, The Finders, which they'll have you to believe that the Finders was just an eccentric group, all right, of rich guys who were a little quirky, but in all actuality, they was basically a PDF ring, all right, with various elite names involved, going around the world. Hell, during the raids, they even had sophisticated internet-like technology. This is 1987, right? And when you watch the video, these things come out. So basically, they were discovered haphazardly, and the local police investigated. But then what happened was the FBI took over. And journalists who were trying to press about the issue were informed to let it go, and it was swept under the rug, business as usual, all right, depending on who it is. But meanwhile, they'll paint the narrative and they'll have the common people hating R. Kelly. Did a whole Netflix special on him, hating P. Diddy. Now, I'm not saying that in the defense of those people. All right. I'm just bringing that out to point out that when they do it, Esau Edom, the so-called white man, is on a much, much, much grander scale. You can't even compare it, But anyway, let me get the scripture. Habakkuk 1:1. The burden which Habakkuk the prophet did see. O Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, how long shall I cry and thou wilt not hear? Even cry out unto thee of violence, and thou wilt not save. Why doest thou show me iniquity and cause me to behold grievance? Because we watch this play out. We watch it come out on the news, right? We watch a false pretense of an investigation, right? And there's never any justice. So you just got to keep looking at it over and over and over. Okay? When it's Esau Edom, he get a slap on the wrist. When it's Jacob Israel, he get punished beyond the extent of the law. It says, for spoiling and violence are before me, and there are that raise up strife and contention. Therefore the law is slacked, and judgment doeth never go forth. Especially when you're dealing with those people. For the wicked doeth compass about the righteous, therefore wrong judgment proceedeth. So the wicked are in charge. That's why we see the wrong things happening. That's why we see the wrong outcomes. No one goes to jail, right? And when they do go to jail, see, Jeffrey Epstein, he had a case in 2005, all right, against women. And he got prosecuted and convicted. But what happened, which you watching that video, you'll see what happened. He got put into a private section of the prison or jail or whatever. And he was given work release like amenities, so to speak, meaning he can leave, right? And now with that being said, now we dare say, was he even in jail at all? So let's read Habakkuk. Probably not. More than likely not. Let's read that in NLT, verse 4. The law has become paralyzed, and there is no justice in the courts. The wicked far outnumber the righteous, right, in positions of authority. So they look out for their own. And not only do they look out for their own, they're all a part of it. Okay? so that justice has become perverted. All right. And I'm going to look up something real quick. I looked up how many children were found from milk cartons. It said, while it's difficult to get precise numbers, reports indicate that out of the hundreds of children featured on milk cartons, only a few were found alive, with some accounts mentioning one or two total success stories. So only one or two, right? The campaign was largely unsuccessful in finding children who had been abducted, with most of the children on the cartons never being found. Now, after the milk carton era, you had the era where they would just send you like a little card in the mail or some type of, it'd be like a little card, and then they might feature two children, okay, missing, call this number, and then they might show you one picture, and then they'd be like, this is how old he was when he was abducted. This is what he would look like, right? Like an age progression picture. Well, none of them children found, man. They found a few children that they highlighted. What was the one girl, Elizabeth Smart or something like that. All right, but what race of people is known for sacrificing children in the means of and maintaining and holding power? There's a people out there that does that. Let me see, YouTube. Matter of fact, we ain't got to get it. Ain't no point. There's the people out there with a doctrine that believe to maintain power and control the grips of power, they got to do the most wicked and vilest things, right? And one of those things is the defilement of innocent children. All right, get one more scripture. Psalm 12:8. The wicked walk on every side when the vilest men are exalted. So the highest exaltation in America today is, being in position, status, politics, directors. All right. And the people in those positions are vile. That's why in every work, there's error, there's injustice. Just like the what was her name? What was Kathy? No, not Kathy Griggs. Just like this woman here, Nancy Schaefer. Let's see about Nancy Schaefer real quick. Let's see what they say. Murder. Schaefer was found dead at her home in Turnerville, Georgia, in Habersham County on March 26, 2010, with a single gunshot wound to her back, along with her husband of 52 years, Bruce Schaefer, who was found with a single gunshot wound to his chest. Now, when you find out about them, she was exposing the PDF ring dealing with the Department of Child and Family Services, right? Let me see, synopsis. Basically, she did an investigation on it. All right, let's see what this say. Nancy Schaefer was a committed campaigner against corruption and child protective services in the USA. She and her husband were found shot dead in what was portrayed as a murder-suicide. Yeah, that's what they called it. All right. And basically what happened when you go into, Nancy Schaefer and her findings, she wouldn't give up. Right. You could watch, they still got some of her videos out there. She wouldn't give it up. She wouldn't give the investigation up, Let me see if they got something else on her. Let me see. Beliefs. Throughout her career as an activist and politician, she was a champion of Christian conservative causes, opposing the Department of Child Protective Services, aka Department of Children and Families. After 4 years of investigation, on November 16, 2007, she published a report entitled "The Corrupt Business of Child Protective Services." After publishing the report in a press conference, she exclaimed that the report caused her to lose her position as a Georgia state senator. Right. In addition, she stood firmly in her support of the anti-abortion agenda and also opposed G marriage in expressing her. Right. So they don't want to go into it too much. All right. Right. But if you look into it, it'll go further into that. But you know what? She could have been a Jake. You never know. But she wasn't with the VOW program. So you know what they did? They got rid of her. All right. So anyway, with that, Lord's will, this was an edifying lesson to the hopeful elect. All praises, glory, and honor unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakah HaKodash. Shalom.